serene hills of Judea, where olive groves swayed gently in the breeze and shepherds tended their flocks. Jesus often sought moments of solitude for prayer and reflection. One evening, as the sun began its descent, casting a golden hue over the landscape, Jesus walked towards a secluded grove. It was a place he frequently visited to commune with his Father in heaven. As Jesus knelt in prayer, he heard the faint sound of a young boy's voice calling out. Intrigued, he rose and followed the sound, which led him to a small village nestled among the hills. There, he found a boy named Samuel, standing on a hilltop, looking up at the sky with tears in his eyes. Jesus approached him gently and asked, "Why do you cry, my child?" Samuel turned and, recognizing Jesus, fell to his knees. "Lord," he said, "I have been calling out to God, but I feel as though my prayers go unheard. My family is struggling and I am afraid for our future. I call out day and night, yet I hear no answer." Jesus knelt beside Samuel, placing a comforting hand on his shoulder. "Samuel," he said, "God hears every call, every whisper of the heart. Sometimes the answer comes in ways we do not expect or understand. Let me tell you a story." With Samuel listening intently, Jesus began his parable. Once there was a shepherd who had 100 sheep. One evening, as he gathered them into the fold, he realized one was missing. Concerned, he left the 99 and went in search of the lost sheep. He called out into the night, his voice echoing through the valleys and hills. He did not give up, knowing that the sheep would recognize his voice and be comforted by it. After hours of searching, he finally heard a faint bleat in the distance. Following the sound, he found the sheep trapped in a thicket. Gently, he freed it and carried it back to the flock. The shepherd rejoiced, for his call had been heard, and the sheep was safe. Jesus looked into Samuel's eyes and continued, "Just as the shepherd's call was heard, so too is your call heard by God. He is searching for you, guiding you, even when you do not see it. Sometimes in our darkest moments, His presence is the strongest. Trust that He is with you, and He will lead you through your trials." Moved by Jesus' words, Samuel felt a surge of hope and faith. He nodded, wiping away his tears. "Thank you, Lord," he said. "I will trust in God's guidance and listen for His call in my heart." Jesus smiled and stood, helping Samuel to his feet. "Remember, Samuel, you are never alone. Continue to call out to God and be open to the ways He may answer. In the quiet of your heart, you will hear His call." As Jesus walked back to the olive grove, Samuel returned to his village with renewed courage and peace. He shared the story with his family, and together they prayed and listened for God's guidance. In time, their struggles eased, and they experienced God's provision in ways they had never imagined. The story of Samuel's encounter with Jesus spread throughout the village and beyond, reminding everyone that their calls to God were always heard and that His love and guidance were ever present. Through this story, many found comfort and strength, learning to listen for God's call in the silence of their hearts and the unfolding of their lives.